In Haikyuu, many teams have a philosophy. Kurasuno's fly. Inurizaki's we don't need the memories. Shiratorizawa's focus on height and power. Date Tech's iron wall. And in today's focus, Nekoma's connect. So what are we actually doing in today's video that's related to Nekoma's connect? Well, whilst researching/watching parts of Haikyuu when doing my video on the best setter, which I need to briefly relook into, I got thinking about Daichi and Kita. Kita, Inurizaki's captain, doesn't fit into his team's motto or philosophy at all. And whilst Daichi is a bit similar, what I've been thinking about with him was that he's one of the best receivers in the show. And whilst rewatching it as of the last few days, he would arguably suit Nekoma's philosophy more. Then, the thought that Kita would probably suit it too. And boom, here we have a new series where we create teams based on philosophies, starting with Nekoma's Connect, and seeing if we could create a team that could win nationals. A large part of the philosophy is being able to receive. If the ball doesn't touch the court, if they connect with the ball, they won't lose. Obviously, it's more than that, it's about connecting with each other. So, starting off, we're keeping Nekoma's Libero, who's a top 3, if not top 2 in the country, Yaku, as well as their captain and middle blocker, Kuro. Also, top 5, arguably top 3 in the country, which is ironic since they state that they are a team of no superstars. And since this all started with thinking of Daichi, of course he would be our opposite. Next to partner Kuro in middle blocker, we have Hiragumi from Kamomedai. Now, granted, I don't know too much about him, as I haven't read the manga yet, or to be precise, I haven't gotten to that point, but from what I can tell, he's one of the top blockers in the whole series, being top 3, maybe even top 1. Very good, I think he's top 3, he's a top 3 middle blocker, he's the top middle blocker, top 3 blocking wise. Very good defensively, so he makes it, making the team also having one of the best blocks with Kuro and Hiragumi, as he is the main member of the national version of the Iron Wall, as well as having both middle blockers being in the top 3. Next, we have outside hitters. When making this, I initially planned to have Kita in the starting lineup, as he really does fit in with Connect. However, he lacks offensively, so whilst he stands a chance for starting for Nekoma, that's not the case here, as there are 2 players who I think are as good, if not better, at receiving, as well as being top players. First, we have the tiny giant Hoshiyumi. He is good at everything. He truly is a little giant. He is a shoo-in for this team. He can also pull off sets to a high level, meaning the team is more or less immune to opposition targeting the setter to weaken offenses, like is a common strategy when a team is really good. Lastly, for wing spikers, I know we just covered one, but the second one, we have the top 2 ace in the nation, being Tachiyama's very own Sakuza, who I've really grown into liking recently. He's also known to be one of the only aces who actually receives participating in defense, and he's very solid at it. Partner that with his technique and flexible wrists that grant amazing spins, he elevates this team. We now have a player who are top 5 in their positions so far, apart from Hoshiyume, who is arguably should have been top 5 ace and top 5 in his position, and Daichi, who's still one of the best at receiving. Lastly, we have setter. For this team, I think 3 names should be mentioned. We have Nekoma's actual setter in Kenma, who is one of, if not the most intelligent setter, who is top 5 out of the setters we know. Then you have another top 5 setter who is also intelligent in Akashi, but for me, the choice is a top 3 setter, someone who pulls out 100% in his team and is so intelligent. He has a monstrous serve. It is none other than Oikawa. He's arguably the best setter out of the 3 choices, the best at serves, blocks, receives, height, set selection. He fits the ethos very well, being able to connect with the ball in receives, but also being able to connect with his players by bringing out the best in them. Most players are top, and if he can get 100% out of them, it would be insane. Like, even someone as average as Daichi in offense, who's average in offense, I think average like prefectural challenges or just prefecture level, with the Haikyuu setting could be low to average national level when it comes to offensive capabilities. This team, quite frankly, wins nationals. We don't know how strong Itachiyama is, but they are team ranked 1 in the country. But I argue this team is better. It has a formidable block that will crush most opponents' will. If they do manage to get past the blocks, they have some of the best receivers in Haikyuu and Daichi, as well as Sakuza, Hoshiyumi, and Kuro. They also have some top servers with Oikawa, Kuro, Hiragumi, Hoshiyumi, Sakuza. This team is so good. But I think like it just dominates almost every team we come across. Not only because it has top players, but Nekoma was able to get far and do very well and be very tough to play against with its players who, quote unquote, have no superstars despite having a top 5 setter, top 2 libero, and top 3 middle blocker. They were like lacking quality when you think of it compared to the other top teams, yet they've always given teams a really tough time. This is just that team on the next level. And as someone who's recently started playing volleyball, I started in like end of summer, beginning of like autumn time, actually more like autumn time, September or something like that, October, I don't, and then stopped for 4 months after Christmas and started it up again recently. It is one of the things I keep thinking about. While it's not the most fun part, the connecting, I generally tell you this now, if I was to start a volleyball team, work on receives, nothing else, because when I moved up to developers, which is the second group, or technically third, because you've got like the introduction, beginners, but then I've moved back down to beginners after the 4 months, obviously, you know, but after 2 weeks, I'm back up to the developers next week. But I'll tell you what now, I can, when in the beginners, I can win a match by myself, essentially, in terms of offensive capabilities. The problem is, you can't do that if no one can receive. What I mean is, if I get a somewhat sucky set, I can get a point. And it's not me boasting here. It's that most of them are younger and athletic, not very good. I come from an athletic background. I'm a black belt in karate. I was a black belt in karate. I was semi-pro football. I did sprinting competitively. I did swimming competitively. So what I'm saying is I could cope with those, especially since I was a goalkeeper. But most people couldn't receive properly, so we couldn't even get to that point. All you need is really like one other good person. And it's why I think the most fundamental is work on receives and then serves, because you can have a team with less quality, quote unquote, but win. For example, I was playing on Monday, so yesterday as of recording, and my team had one less person, and we had, so it was volleyball's meant to be 6v6, but we were doing 5v5, but my team had 4, and there were some coaches on some other teams. We had a coach on our team. We also had one person who was relatively new, couldn't receive, couldn't set very well. Mind you, very good serve. And then we had another person who wasn't very mobile. I think has like an injury or something like that. But we won every game because they could receive, you know, like the one of them couldn't receive all the time, the one who had the good serve, but the other two, the coach and the other person, could receive. And now, no matter what the sets were, I could get them offensively, and I was good at setting for them based off what they can do. My point of this little side rant is receiving is the most important part, but it's the part people overlook. Look at Hinata, for example. He was a very, very athletically gifted person, and he had the hunger for volleyball, but they worked solely on his offensive, and it became a bit of a weakness. If he had not gone to the ball boy arc and started learning, he would have cost them against Inarizaki. He saved them by being able to receive. Daichi has saved them by being able to receive. It doesn't matter how good your offense is if the other team could keep it up. Now you've given that team talent. Don't struggle to see. I have a vague idea of what I'm going to do for Inarizaki's We Don't Need the Memories and Shiratorizawa's Power teams, and I still think that while they have so much more offensively, arguably, than this team, they just don't have the same grit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, share your thoughts, and the ultimate connected dream team, if you will. Also, check out my next video when it comes on this topic in my, not next post, but the post after. As next one, it will be another DC Rivals post, or you can check out my Oikawa, Atsumu, and Kageyama video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.